welcome to the SuperMassive podcast. I am one of your hosts, Harrison Thacker, president of SuperMassive. Joining me is the founder of SuperMassive, Jason Sirotin. Jason's always a pleasure to sit down and chop it up with you.
What's up, Harrison? How are you?
Oh man, I'm good, man. I cannot complain. Really excited about our topic today. I guess maybe intrigued would be a better word. Obviously, man, we spend countless hours, days, months, and years trying to figure it all out on the marketing side. It's always great in theory, and then when you execute, sometimes it's great, a lot of times it's not. It's a lot of trial and error, but with that in mind, we felt it would be a pretty cool topic to discuss some of the biggest marketing flubs in 2023. We're going to take a look at 4 different brands, and Jay, I believe you're blind reacting to these, right?
I am, yeah. I don't know what you're going to show me.
No, that's great. That's perfect, because I think, and I'm sure you've heard of some of them, but some of them are actually news to me, kind of flew under my radar. But yeah, I just know that given some of our experiences with SuperMassive, it'll probably hit a little close to home.
And there were some big blunders this year, or this last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, obviously, you probably could guess that Bud Light made it on the list. They were actually number 1. It is, just to give a little bit of background, the idea was they would partner with TikTok star Dylan Mulvaney in what honestly looked like a sincere effort to be inclusive. They just wanted to sort of open up the base a bit, I guess, and show that they appeal to all demographics. But the way they did it obviously kind of undermined the base I think that they had, or at least that's what their base felt. And I mean, to watch a company stock plummet in that way in one day is pretty crazy. So I actually have a video queued up here, but before we play it, based off of what you already know about it, what were your thoughts? How did you feel, in response to that?
I mean, it was one ad that played once. It was one can. I think that where the uproar came is that people thought that these were going to be cans that were everywhere in stores. And that was troublesome to a lot of people because of their beliefs. And I don't think Bud Light fully thought it through. And then I don't think they made the right moves. They got defensive rather than be on the offense about it. I think there was a big opportunity for them to be like, what are you guys talking about? We made one can for one person, and we like this person. We support what they're doing because this is America. And you pull back on that, what is America all about? It can be all of the things that you've always been about, and it can be inclusive and about trans people. Because guess what? Trans people like Clydesdales too. Right? They like beer,
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a ridiculous thing that it got so blown out of proportion because nobody put their big boy pants on and said what was really going on, because everybody's so afraid of saying the wrong thing. And it just creates so many problems.
For sure. Yeah. You're not able to have really at least in that context, honest conversation. I think, at least from their perspective, they probably felt like they couldn't. And like you said, I mean, they just kind of reacted disproportionately to people's ire. And I think it brings up, a lot of questions about the new world we find ourselves in. Status quo is different now across the board. And I think rightfully so. I think we should always be constantly evaluating and reevaluating our moral fiber, where we are, why we're doing the things we're doing. And that'll, I think, blend into or lead us to better decision making as marketers. So in this case, it's like you said, I think the idea was great. I think it was maybe just and even the execution wasn't bad. It was just their response. I think the main theme here is authenticity. And so it's like, man, hey, if there is an authentic moment to be had there, then pursue it. I feel like all the best marketing is rooted in that authenticity and relatability. But if you just put what is, I think it's, I may have this phrasing wrong, but when they say like a like straw man argument, is that I could
I have no
I might
idea.
be missing.
You're
Well,
the college grad here, Harrison.
right, right. Okay, well, yeah. Look, if I'm wrong, charge it to my head and my heart. But yeah, man,
Well,
you're
let's
you're
play that
almost,
clip.
yeah, absolutely. So okay, got it queued up here. Okay, give me 1 second. All right.
This month, I celebrated my day 365 of womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it. Check out my Instagram story to see how you can enjoy March Madness with Bud Light.
So it was her story. It aired once.
Yeah.
No more Anheuser-Busch products in this house.
I mean, you knew it was going to happen. You knew this
Yeah,
was how
but
people were going to react.
Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch. Have a terrific day.
So I mean, I love Kid Rock because he's hilarious, but I mean, that's it. That's
So-
so over the top. It's so that's just the. But that's what happens. They went over the top, and that's what happens. What more can you say
So-
about it, though?
well, I will say, I think there's more you can say about it. Now this is, I don't know how real we getting here, right? But when you see stuff like that, like automatic rifles shooting the cans and the Bud Light imagery, and people point, like almost making a statement. Like when we look at that video on its own, Bud Light sent her this can. It has her face on it, and now it's almost this like celebratory thing. Like you said, it's a singular instance. But to react with shooting the shit up and all that other stuff, in my mind, as a black man, immediately, I always, and this may be wrong, but I'm just being honest. Y'all cancel me if you want to. But whenever I see other struggles, I immediately replace or compare it to historically what black people have gone through, because that's where my bias comes in. And I have no, problem admitting it. And I feel like if you can acknowledge it, at least that's like the first step to having an honest discussion, right? But
See, I look at
when
it
I
and go, "There's white people acting dumb again."
Right. But see, I look at it and think, let Bud Light have put something representing me or mine on there, and a motherfucker pull a semi-automatic out and start shooting at that shit and all that. Man, what? Man, oh, you want war? Okay, Kid Rock, come on, come meet me in my backyard then. Come talk that shit in my face, dog. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, you see how it could, like, it's almost like, well, where is this?
Oh,
Where is this
totally.
going? Like,
But think about
is
this.
Go ahead. Yeah.
They could have seen all of this coming because those are the opposite images you want of your brand. It getting shot up, poured out, people talking shit about it. And
Yeah.
you're showing off that a ton of your supporters are kind of ignorant. So it's like a double whammy. You're really getting, so now you've got people who are, I have a Bud Light every once in a while. I took my son to the Drake concert. Dude, it was crazy. Cases filled with Bud Light, nobody taking any one of them. I had a Bud Light. People were looking at me. It was weird. I was in Milwaukee, right? I don't know if that has anything to do with this. I've only been there twice. But it was so culturally, like, you didn't even just want to be part of the conversation. So it's just so polarizing. I don't recommend brands do that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it does kind of expose, like you said, it just exposes kind of where people are on the ignorance scale, you know. And I think that's in both regards, because I agree wholeheartedly. Like I said, I hadn't seen that clip before we play. I was blind reacting to, but I can say 100%, yeah, man. If this was like a scenario, like a, you know, some of these other major brands, like I said, who just have quotas that they're filling, so it's like their spirits not even really in it. It's just, you know, it's like you said, almost being woke for the sake of like commercialization. If that's the case, yeah, I want to see that shit disappear, because I just don't like inauthentic things. You can almost feel when it's not authentic. Um, but on the other side of it, I'm not mad at, you know, anyone who looks at something like that and is like, what are these assholes doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the meaning, like, you know, a Kid Rock with the, man, come on, bro. All right, tough guy. You know what I'm saying? That's just crazy to me. But go ahead. You look like you're about to say something.
Well, there's just another side of it where the spot wasn't even good, right? She's not even good. In fact, I find her quite annoying, not because she's trans, but I don't like the performance. Has nothing to do with anything about her. I just can't stand that type of performance. So I don't think it was it, which is another thing. Was she chosen because she's a great performer? Because that was kind of like a weird performance. So, and you know, we don't talk about the fact that it just wasn't a great performance because everybody's so caught up in this other stuff.
And the,
You know,
and
maybe
what
if
it
she would have
brought up.
delivered it better, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I
You know,
get you.
nobody's talked about how it was delivered. Maybe she just needed a director.
Word, yeah. I had to go back and watch it again just to double check, because it didn't really register to me at
Play
the
it.
time, like what you're saying now. You know, that it was like a,
Play
you
it.
know, yeah. It was. Let me run it back real quick.
This month, I celebrated my day 365 of womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it. Check out my Instagram story to see how you can enjoy
Yeah, see, like
Bud Light. And
that to me, I'm not that right there, and that's only like a, you know, it's what, a 3 second clip, you know. So I'm
Sure.
not familiar with her other work either. But if I'm
Me
just seeing
neither.
that, okay, yeah. So if I'm just looking at that, to me, that looks like every other TikTok or YouTube personality who's like, you know, like reacts to things or like unboxes things, you know, just the typical, you know. I don't see anything. It's benign, but it's like benign by sheer circumstance of that outlet, right? Like that's what they do, right? And they meaning YouTubers, TikTokers, you know, people in this
Yeah, I
lane.
guess you're right.
So
I'm annoyed by all of those performances.
so here's the clip for Zara.
A brand that everyone swears by, Zara has now found itself in the midst of a controversy following its latest ad campaign, The Jacket, with several social media users calling out its alleged similarities with the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict. The campaign is a part of the brand's Atelier series, promoting a new collection of limited edition jackets. It features international model Kristen McNamee standing around rubble and posing alongside mannequins wrapped in white cloth and plastic. Some pictures shared by the brand also feature a pine box and some mannequins.
Okay.
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 So
Yeah,
what's
I think so. You go ahead. I'm sorry.
so they're saying that they're mocking the war by having her stand next to rubble?
Yeah, the idea was that they said critics drew parallels between the images and the media coverage of the conflict in Gaza. And it says that Zara's response was to remove the campaign and issue a statement explaining the creative intention behind the images. However, the damage was already done. And it says just
Okay,
from the
so
clip that I pulled
it says one picture from Zara's promotional images depicted a model holding a wrapped up mannequin that resembled a scene from Gaza. But like that's a scene from literally every war zone.
For sure. Yeah. I mean,
Guess what?
right.
War is fucking awful. Stop doing it.
Yeah, I get it. So I think the reason I guess that, they're saying it's a fail. It's that this is a direct quote. They said this brand fail emphasizes the importance of perception and sensitivity in advertising. In an era where online conversations can quickly translate into real world impact, brands must consider potential sensitivities and cultural context before launching campaigns. So I will say, on the one hand, go ahead. Sorry, yeah. Do you think? Yeah.
But man, I'm looking at these images right now.
Yeah.
And like it just seems ridiculous to me that anybody would be. I mean, it looks like a mannequin breaking out of a case in a gallery.
Yeah.
Like, in what world is? Wait, hold on. Come on, that's a coincidence. Come
Yeah,
on.
I think you're right. I agree wholeheartedly. I think on the one
And that's a
hand,
body? Is he carrying a rug? I don't mean to make light of it, but like that doesn't like that that is so wrong for people to just draw a comparison like that. First of
yeah,
all, what's happening to the people there so horrendous.
sure.
But like why should Zara like be compared? That's just I
Well,
just think that's ridiculous. I see again, why didn't Zara say this has nothing to do with it? I would have got on a press conference. I would have been, I'd like to gather everybody here today. I would like to hold up these pictures and I would like to talk about them. Our idea was that she was busting out in an art gallery out of this thing and she's part of it and she's come to life and it has nothing to do with war, has nothing to do with Gaza. It just happens that things are wrapped in white and they wrapped something in white. She's carrying it on his shoulder. He's carrying it down here. Shut the fuck up.
I'm going to say this. I wholeheartedly agree with you. And I think that this is specifically one, like you said, just to the atrocities that are happening in Gaza and just in that part of the world in general right now. But
It's disgusting.
This is a scenario, like you said, of I feel like these companies, man, they got to grow some nuts sometimes, man. That's probably not the right thing to say, given all of the sensitivities we've discussed today, but they got to grow a backbone, man. Because it says their response was, as soon as the backlash happened, they pulled the campaign. Right there. It's like, dude, like, nah, man, don't be so afraid that you're going to lose money that you can't just say, all right, wait, hold on. I see you just pulled this
I'm
up.
just showing you this one just because, I mean, this is the worst. But like somebody had to go, ooh, I'm going to get Zara.
Yeah, to draw the parallel. I mean,
yeah, it's just weird, man. It's just like, how are you supposed to scan the whole world before you do something creative? It's like, I always say this to young creatives. I was like, you will never do something great if you're worried about what your mom will think.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I mean, but here's the other part of it too. I think on the subject, as I was saying before, about companies like growing a backbone and like standing by some of their decisions, or at least, being like, hey man, we're not gonna hey, it is what it is. In this case, I ain't gonna lie, man. Soon as you pull that second picture up, and I saw that what I assume is that mom with, a loved one or just horrible. Like, it's like, okay, you know what? That
they
strikes
drew it.
a chord.
Somebody made you think that. Like, they didn't do that.
But this is the thing, though, and this is where I think the biggest issue is. Don't do shit frivolously. If you're gonna do something, make sure there's a real ethic behind it. Don't set up and say, "Ooh, war! Oh, this is controversial. So let's have her do this." I'm not to say that they thought that with the comparison to Gaza and Israel and Palestine, but just in general, oh, this is polarizing, and it's whatever buzzwords you can think of that, it's like you're trying to be deep, you know what I mean, or trying to be whatever. It's like, don't do shit frivolously just because this might get people talking, because guess what, it got people talking. And then when it came time for it and the axe swung down, you didn't stand on it. You said, oh, no, oh God, no, let me take it down, we had no idea, blah,
Which
blah,
makes
blah.
you seem guilty.
Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying.
It's like,
But
oh wow, they really did. They were trying to make a. Can I ask a question? Is Zara known as like a pro-Jewish store or something? Is there a side to it that we're not thinking about?
No, I mean, hey man, if it is, I don't know. But man, I've shopped at Zara many times and have gone there since like probably 2014, 2015. I have yet to see that. I don't know anything along those lines.
Well, I mean, they don't. It's not like they're gonna have Stars of David up. Who owns Zara?
Spoken like a true Jewish man that you are.
Let's see. Amancio Ortega. That doesn't sound like a Jewish name. It's a Spanish retailer.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's
Spanish retailer Zara. That's how I'm guessing.
Yeah, okay.
Zara.
Probably Spain, like European Spanish.
Yeah, Spanish. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely Spain. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey man, again, that's what I'm saying though. Now imagine, Jay, if they'd have based it on some shit that they actually could stand on, like some stuff where they say, hey man, we did this because we feel like this. It's tied to this, and we're standing on it. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry, but this is not, you're drawing the wrong correlation. You
almost have to CYA. You have to cover your ass these days and think of, even if you're not going to do it, like before they did that shoot, they said, look, just in case some shit happens, let's write the story out, post it online with a timestamp of what it means. Dude, why not? Brands should cover their asses. I'm going to do it from now on.
For sure. But again, man, and maybe I'm just feeling like this because I noticed, being a person of color and working in advertising or marketing, you see some shit from time to time that you like, all right, I want to slap somebody, but I have to take a step. And sometimes people deserve to be slapped, but sometimes you have to recognize, otherwise you ain't going to be in business long, that just some people are not understanding of certain cultural sensitivities. Right. And in those moments, you take that opportunity to educate a person. Then if they choose to say, fuck that, I don't care, and I'm going to keep doing this, well, you have all the right in the world to say, go fuck yourself, But in this case, dude, you can't just have an idea, say, ooh, this is going to get the people talking, throw it out there. And then as soon as it goes left, you just tuck your tail and run away. It's like, dude, you don't even have to worry about CYA at that point because you didn't really believe in what you was doing in the first place. You just threw this shit together.
Same with what I thought we were going to talk about today, and we'll probably talk about it in another episode, is Solo Stove. That dude got fired or he quit, because the Snoop Dogg thing?
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Well,
Hey,
you got to slide. Oh, no, yeah, because I was just going to say, for sure, man. Yeah, we could come back and do it when it's more time. And we could even revisit some of these topics, man, because I want to go back and, we'll touch on Zara
a little bit the next time because I want to do a little research because that just seems weird to me. There's got to be, this seems like one of those things where there might be a competitor who's like, I'll get them. I know what we'll do. I know they use whites. I use white. You know who else use white? The Jews. Yeah.
Jay, let me tell you something. Well, hey man, yeah, that sounds about right. It sounds almost like somebody it's like if you really use that as your, that comparison. If you just saw what they did and said, okay, I'm going to draw this comparison apropos of nothing, then yeah, either it's like more of an insidious agenda or somebody's just drunk on power. You know, like
We
you
could
have
do
the
that.
power.
Let's challenge each other to look for something that we could make up a total lie about to a tragedy. Right?
It's-
You'll be like, oh my God, look at that shirt. That shirt is a ripoff of the Sandy Hook tragedy, and then tie it together.
yeah, there
Good
you
luck
go,
with
man.
that.
Well, hey, man, look, I'm gonna let you handle that one. And on that note, I know we got to call it pretty. I know we got to call it a little early today, but yeah,
Yeah,
man,
man.
I definitely want to meet again soon. This was fun. I feel like we just scratched the surface of some really cool topics and some polarizing stuff. I know it's some shit that me and you both said in this that some people are. It's gonna ruffle somebody's feathers. But
Well,
the
guess
difference
what?
is,
That's the way it is. If we're not
that's what I'm
having
saying.
these conversations, then we're never going to get anywhere.
Yeah, and again, we're having it from the standpoint of a real ethic. I'll back up and stand on anything I said in here, and I know the same is true for you.
Well,
So
I might change my mind. Right?
but
I
see,
might say something and then change my mind.
but that's fine because you would be in you a fool. Only a fool doesn't change their mind when they're presented with circumstances that or information that compels them to do otherwise. So
That's what I'm saying.
I'm with you right there. I'm all ears, and I'm not above being corrected. But it can't be this like mob mentality of we're out for blood, for no fucking reason. But anyway, man, Jay, thank you for another great episode. I think that we for sure need to do this like in the next couple of days again, revisit this. I am Harrison Thacker, host of the SuperMassive podcast, along with the other host, Jason Sirotin. Thanks as always, man. It's been a great time.
Thank you. See you next time.